Jack. Good morning. Good morning. I don't think my microphone is working today, and I can't quite figure out why. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday morning to you and yours. We have some football on here in about 25 minutes. Sorry, I'm a little late, but it's better late than never. It is 9:05 Eastern Standard, Sunday, September 28th. I appreciate all of you who are up nice and early, getting ready to lock in with some fucking prop talk, week 5 NFL. And on top of that, I just want to say, go ahead and get if you want to save the Penn State chirps for tomorrow, that's totally fine. And just focus on NFL and forget that wager ever happened. I got no beef with that. But if you want to remind me that I lost 5 units on James Franklin last night, you can do that as well. That is your prerogative. I am wearing a Corp Underdog shirt. If you are playing with Underdog or want to play with Underdog, you can use promo code DGen when you sign up. You bet $5, you get $100 back. That's the new bonus, I believe. All right, let's get into it. We don't really have holy medium, dude. It's like the shrink material. This thing shrunk like a bitch. I swear, I'm a large. This is a large, but it shrunk so bad. I think I put it in the dryer one time. I usually don't because of the material on here. I don't want it to, fade away. I'm usually pretty good about that. I'm the laundry guy too. Well, but my wife and I switch. We have our own designated responsibilities. I'll do the dishes and the laundry. I cannot clean a fucking bathroom to save my life. What up, everybody? How we doing? 5 years. Oh, God, here he goes. God damn it. Damn Boulder Shoulders. What's up? DJ, wrong mic. Dude, do I sound terrible? I don't know what's going on. This happened when I signed up, when I went on Owner's Box the other day. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's not registering my mic. I might need another one. All right. I don't want to have Snowman marinating in the queue anymore. Good morning, Snowman. How are we?
Holy muscles, DGen, you're looking fucking yoked today.
Dude, it's the shirt. It's the shirt.
I gotta get you one of those shirts. It's form-fitting.
I know it is. It's actually, like certain mirrors like give you better angles and everything. This must be a really good shirt. And yeah, I don't know, because I haven't worked out and I think I'm getting sick. So, but I appreciate it. I'm just gonna walk around in this shirt for probably the next 5 days.
Hey, being sick is great for the abs.
That's true. Good morning, Snowman. By the way, if you're not following Snowman, please make sure to go give him a follow. Snowman does a great job on his streams, on the betting content. This guy is the only person I see still hammering away baseball at a consistent rate and still finding success. I'm going to put the link to your Twitter profile in the chat right now. Go give Snowman a follow. And dude, thanks so much for joining. Steak is traveling. I believe he just made it to the mountains of Montana, which I hear is a beautiful place. So Snowman is our guest this week. I think we've had 2 guests so far to start Prop Talk this season. So excited to have you, Snowman. Are you a big prop bettor in the NFL? Because I know you are in baseball, obviously, but are you more sides, totals, props, or a little bit of everything?
Yeah, I think for NFL is probably where I have my biggest mix. Like with college sports, I mainly stick to sides. Like I'll throw props out here and there for sure. I try to get a little bit of exposure to props on a given Saturday, but I still have the majority of my units in sides. It's the complete opposite for pro sports. Baseball and basketball, I pretty much don't touch regular season sides anymore. I just got burned too much on them in the past. And you're like me, we're unks, we've been betting for a long time. Props didn't used to exist. They only existed 1 game a year, and that was the Super Bowl. And every single Super Bowl, me and my boys would be labbing for hours, looking over the entire board for 1 game. And the board for a Super Bowl would have maybe a third of the number of props that exist on any given game nowadays. So NFL, I do a mixture of both, but I think I tend to do a little bit more props as it pertains to NFL and all the other pro sports too.
Okay, yeah, and good point about that. With the props, it's actually amazing what you're able to bet on now. But I will tell you, if there is one thing that's sucked me in and spit me out, it's probably the prop market, because I just can't help myself to, you look at a line and then you see the plus sign if you go 10 or 15 yards extra. I sometimes get baited into that, and then the guy will hit his regular line, but he won't hit his alt line. I'll get screwed. So I'm trying to do a better job of, if I like a guy, just betting it straight with the line, the best number that you can get, and then taking a small amount and putting it on the alt or whatnot. So my bread and butter this season so far in the young NFL season are touchdown scorers. The last year I was horrendous. So I guess, everything, what goes down or must come up and whatnot. So this has been my year for touchdown scorers. We're doing a contest. By the way, I don't think, has anyone picked you for a partner in the touchdown contest that we're doing? Okay, good. Mental note, you're probably going to be my guy next week. Well, in a way, you want to save some people for the end, but I'm off to such a hot start. I don't even need to get cute.
It's like a survivor pool. You gotta be saving the
best. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the way I was thinking about it. But yeah, we're 6-0 touchdown scores. I got Kev on my side this time. He liked Justin Jefferson, which is coming up in the 9:30 game, which we'll talk about in a second. I'm down with Justin Jefferson as well. We'll get into it. And then he switched to Tony Pollard, which I'm kind of into. But we're 6-0 on that. I think Steak is getting his ass kicked and Greg is somewhere in the middle. All right, let's lock in because I am realizing late money. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Happy to have you on here. And I think we should get into this Steelers Vikings game because we don't have as much time as I originally thought we did. This game is starting in about 20 minutes. So man, this is tough for me. I so badly want to just not overthink it and bet on the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Like, that's what seems easy. And that sounds weird because you have a backup quarterback with the Minnesota Vikings, Carson Wentz. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this game is in, if people are unfamiliar, it is in Ireland. And from what I have gathered, shout out to Greg for this nugget, and then I heard it on the broadcast this morning, there's going to be a majority of Steelers fans. So it's going to feel a little bit like a Steelers home game, even though it's on a neutral site. Minnesota's 2.5. You can get them on -140 on the money line. Total seems a little high to me at 40.5, 41. That number is always a little suspicious. It's like in a game where on paper the matchup looks like it's going to go under, but that number is like 2 or 3 points higher than I expected it to be. They oddly go over. And I think the most recent memory I have of that is the Saints and the Niners with a backup quarterback, Mac Jones, and Spencer Rattler. And that game was like 26-21. I don't know how the hell the Pittsburgh Steelers score points in this game. I mean, you could tell me, I thought about taking their team total. I thought about it all morning because I just can't see old ass Aaron Rodgers and Arthur Smith having success against the Minnesota Vikings defense. At the same time, I'm having a hard time pressing the button with the Vikings because they're coming off of a 48-10 win against the Bengals. And I always try not to buy high on teams or players after they're coming off of legacy games. So this is what I've thought about doing. I want to get your thoughts on this. And chat, you guys as well. Good morning, everybody. Last week, it was the don't overthink it Jordan Mason game. The Cincinnati Bengals defensive line and defense in general is not good. I watched the Jags-Bengals game. I had the Bengals. I got lucky as hell with that bet. But I watched the Jags run for like 5 to 6 yards a carry and just fall forward every play for yards, for 4 to 5 yards at a time. And it was easy. They were Swiss cheese. And so Mason had 110-plus rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't want to go to him today. I don't want to go to him. I don't necessarily want to go to the offense. But Wentz didn't really have to do all that much. I like Justin Jefferson. I like Justin Jefferson yards. I like him to score. I was talking to Shady Beeve earlier. Beeve, if you're in here, good morning. He's a fellow Vikings fan. Steak is a Vikings fan. Matt is a Vikings fan. A lot of Vikings fans in here in this community. I see you got the Bears shirt on, so maybe you're a Steelers fan today. But I like Justin Jefferson in this game. And on the flip side, I can't really think of anything Pittsburgh Steelers related. Where's your head at with Steelers Vikings?
So it's interesting that you said that you thought the over was a little bit high because I thought it was a little bit low.
You do?
Like the Steelers defense has been horrible this season.
Good point.
Their defense has been awful. They're giving up tons of points all over. And, I think being able to like suss out lines that don't make sense is a very key thing in the gambling game, right? Finding the stinky line, finding the lines that don't make sense. I mean, people have systems just looking for it the entire time. And to me, it kind of seems like the opposite, whereas like it seems like so obvious that this game is going to be high scoring, yet we have a lower over-under than I was necessarily expecting. And at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if the thinking is, well, the Vikings defense is so good, how are the Steelers going to score? Then the short line doesn't really make a ton of sense here because this is a neutral site. We talk all the time, like, yeah, home field advantage is worth 3 points on the line. So you remove that, you flip it, blah, blah, blah. What would be on a neutral site? Well, we're at a neutral site here, and the Vikings are still favored. Carson Wentz, yes, while nominally the backup quarterback, is leagues better than J.J. McCarthy. I'm sorry, McCarthy is fucking awful. He can't throw the football. So him being in there, I think it's just a boon for the Vikings pass offense. In general, I feel like when the backups come in, obviously they have lots to prove. I mean, Carson Wentz, if he plays well in these next few games, will probably be the starter the rest of the season. It feels like what this was with McCarthy was kind of like a soft benching where it was like, okay, he's been horrible the first 2 weeks. Yeah. Let's throw him on the bench. We know that Carson Wentz is probably better for us right now. If Wentz comes in and sucks, great. We'll go back to McCarthy. We'll pretend he's injured. We're not going to hurt his confidence. We're not going to hurt his trade value. The fans will be okay with it. But if we bench him and Wentz comes in and plays really well, now all of a sudden things the rest of the season, the fans will probably even want that anyways. Mm-hmm. So I think the Vikings are certainly going to be trying to play well. I think they're certainly going to be trying to throw the football, especially after the Mason masterclass. Wanting to fade him, I agree with. And I also like the Justin Jefferson angle. I was on him last week. One of my theses with NFL props is when you have a backup quarterback come in, when you have a young quarterback coming in, they want to throw the ball to the stars because they know that this is their shot. And what makes them look better than throwing it to one of the best receivers in the league? I like the Jefferson angle as well. I'm on him for a touchdown. There was a boost on FanDuel for a touchdown score in this game. I wrote Jefferson here. I think we're going to probably see a little more physical fight-em-out game than maybe I was expecting in general. Steelers starting running back Jalen Warren is out, so that might lead to more of a pass-happy game in particular. I don't know. I think I would lean maybe towards the over in this spot, but the line does seem short. But if you think it seems a little bit short in the opposite direction, maybe I'm just overthinking it or underthinking it. I don't know. This is a tough call. I like the over. I like the Vikings. I like Jefferson stuff.
Well, I mean, you make a good point about the Steelers defense being Swiss cheese. And now that I think about it, Justin Fields put up 30 plus. Sam Darnold put up 30 plus. So I get what you mean. I thought I leaned over because of thinking that this should be in the high 30s. I was maybe respecting the Vikings defense a little bit too much and the travel and discrediting the Steelers offense because I just think they're putrid. So I didn't know that about Jalen Warren. I was thinking if I had to play anything on the Steelers side, I was going to go Aaron Rodgers completions. Had nothing to do necessarily with the injury of Warren, but I was just thinking that I don't know they're going to get anything going on the ground. I don't like their running game in general, but also maybe a bit of a trailing game script. And you'd have to imagine the way they're going to scheme up the offense today against the Brian Flores defense. Like things have to be quick. Like you're not, Rodgers can't sit back in the pocket for 3 seconds. So I think it's going to be a lot of what's pretty standard with the Steelers, 4 or 5 yard passes, maybe some stuff to DK Metcalf, even if he's not open, just throw the ball in the air. I don't know. Okay. You make an interesting point too about.
Let's also not forget that Brian Flores, before being on the Vikings, after leaving the head coach of the Dolphins, where was he at? Steelers.
Oh, there's a revenge game.
I like the Rodgers completions or attempts angle for the record as well, because I agree. I think in a higher scoring potential game could be a nice game script in favor of the Steelers passing. And with the starting running back being out, we might see some of those short screens, short passes that are functionally runs, but count for the quarterback as well. I think that could be a good angle. What I'm looking for today, DGen, I have to be completely transparent. I have a large bonus bet on FanDuel that expires in about 2 hours. I am looking for a lay to put together from plays from the stream.
Okay.
And if it hits, we'll do a very nice giveaway for both your chat and my chat.
Love that. W Snowman. Again, I put the link for Snowman's profile in the chat pinned up. Go make sure to give him a follow. DGen really got some nerve dishing out Beef's PODs. Yes, I know that's a joke. But Beef said he wanted receptions for Justin Jefferson. I am not going to get there. I like the yards. I actually even like longest completion. I think it's going to be a Justin Jefferson game. I like Jefferson last week too. I didn't get involved, but I think he had I think he squeezed.
He had exactly 75 yards because I had 76 and a half. I remember that very clearly that I just missed out. And it was so frustrating again because of the blowout. Like you mentioned, you didn't necessarily want to take the Vikings off a masterclass. Mm-hmm. The masterclass wasn't offensively. It was defensively. They had 2 defensive touchdowns. They were up 35-3 at some point. Like the offense didn't really have to do much. So I'd be a little bit more okay back in their offense here, because again, I still think that their main priority right now is, well, what do we have in Carson Wentz? Like, can he be the guy to lead us the rest of the season? Because I think they clearly have a championship level defense, but they certainly aren't going to win shit with JJ McCarthy at QB. They don't have the running backs for him to hand it off to you. They don't know the offensive line. He can only do so much, just turn around and hand that rock off. So I think they're going to be trying to test some of the passing concepts. Now Jordan Addison is back today from his suspension. So I think that's going to be the main priority for the Vikings offense, is going to be making sure the pass game is in sync, especially against this piss poor Steelers defense.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to pull up Pickett here real quick. So we've got Justin Jefferson. Looks like you can get plus 160. Let me go to receiving yards real quick. This is what I like. 70.5 minus 135. I might alt that to 90 plus too. And 5.5 other receptions. Okay. This is an interesting look too. Darnell Washington, 11-1 play, anytime touchdown. Love this. He was looking his way a couple times last week in the red zone. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Not a bad look there as well. Snowman, give me like a score prediction that you're feeling from this game.
I'm going to go Vikings 27-20.
Okay, so you would play, someone was asking, I think they commented about the Vikings team total over.
What's their number, 23.5?
I think it's 20. Did they say 21.5? Minnesota team total over 21.5.
Yeah, I like that.
The hell's by Michael B. Jordan? DJen, are you talking to Steelers over total points? No. I'm not. I don't like the Steelers offense at all. If I did play anything, it would be Rodgers completions. He is at 19.5.
I feel like we got to play something for us to be sweating out while the stream's going on, for all the chat to be riding with. I'm down for it to be Rodgers completions.
Why not Justin Jefferson? Or you're saying both?
We can play whatever, but I feel like we need a little stream ride for the early game while we're all here, we're all up, we're all sweating, we're all talking props, ready to go.
What's the stream? Yeah, you're right. What's the stream?
Why don't we do a vote? Why don't we do a vote in the chat? Let the chat decide. Either Jefferson yards / receptions or Rodgers completions.
This is why. See, you're a good streamer. This is why I don't think of things like this. All right. What do we sweat in Ireland? Let's go with Jet over receiving yards or Rodgers over completions. And that'll be a 2-minute poll. And on that note, I will have to get that wager in as well because it is 8:21. So we got to move fast. Go vote, go vote, go vote. Yep, Snowman is a vet in this game. He sure is. H-Win says like it. Both. Yeah, I don't hate both. Okay, let's make our way to the next game. So now we are in the 1 o'clock slate. I don't have to spend too much time on this one. So let's get it out of the way. The Buffalo Bills at home against the New Orleans Saints. Looks like line's around 14.5. So some money's coming on the New Orleans Saints. That makes sense to me. I think for the most part, oh wow, it's 13.5 on that's minus 145. So it's about 14. It would make sense to me. I feel like sharps for the most part in pros typically don't like double-digit big favorites in the NFL.
Or the super public teams. I mean, the Bills are a very public team. In general, we know that the main goal of the sports book is to get equal action on both sides. That is the reason behind the lines. It is not trying to guess the exact score. That's kind of like a misnomer. So the books know that the general public is going to look at this game and say, oh, well, the Bills are the best team in the league and the Saints are the worst team in the league. How do I bet the Saints? So they got to make it big enough to make it worth betting on New Orleans. So I'm not surprised that like most of the models and the algorithms are going to spit out like, oh, well, this should be Bills minus 12.9 and we're getting 15.5. I'm jumping all over it.
Good point. Is it weird? I like points here, Snowman. I went back. I was doing some research for the Seahawks Cardinals game, and I also, for whatever reason, went back and watched the Niners Saints game. I got to tell you, I'm not a Spencer Rattler guy. I've never been a Spencer Rattler guy, but like, I don't know. He doesn't look like the worst quarterback I've ever seen so far. They have some weapons. They've got Kamara. They've got Olave. I mean, I know he's injured every fucking game, but I think if the Bills kind of take care of business here and just sort of have their foot not fully on the gas, I feel like the Saints can put up 17 points. And I'm looking on the flip side. I mean, the Bills can probably, at least get over 30. And that's where this total is. This total is around 48. I kind of like it. I can see a 35-17 game getting close to the number. I don't know that I like honestly, I was thinking about taking the Saints team total over. I don't know what it is. Let me look at it real quick. The Saints team total over is 15.5. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I was gonna get very stupid and potentially take
What's
over
the
the
Bills,
game.
like 31.5?
Good question. The Bills is going to be 31.5, minus 105 to the over on DraftKings. I was going to take something Spencer Rattler related, like passing yards, team total over on the Saints. I think they score at 17 points at minimum here. Am I being a moron?
My initial thoughts of this game was just to completely pass, right? Like, the Giants spread, I could easily see the Bills blowing them out. At the same time, it's the NFL and any given Sunday type shit, and maybe the Saints could keep it close. But it felt like the natural angle to look from a prop perspective is, well, what if it is the blowout? Is that does seem a little bit more likely? Could be time to fire up the Ray Davises of the world. But now that I'm hearing these lines, I'm a little bit more sketched out by it. The juice moving in favor of New Orleans is interesting, to say the least, as again, we know that not only are the books trying to price it to get equal action on both sides, but we know that most of the sharps bet early in the week. It's mostly people who wake up on Sunday morning and say, okay, what's on today? Ooh, the Bills are playing the Saints. Let me hop on the Bills. And I'd expect to obviously move the other way. So late seam towards the Saints is interesting. And then the Bills at 31.5 is also interesting, given that, A, this looks like such a great spot for them to do well, but they've scored this number in functionally every single game. It kind of seems almost like a low number for them. They've scored what, like 43 against, or 42, whatever it was, against Buffalo or against Baltimore. They scored 30 against the Jets in a huge blowout where they didn't even really need to try in the second half, and then they scored 31 last week against the Dolphins. So that number seems a little bit low in my opinion. I wonder if the Saints are going to cover this game at 14.5. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
You make an interesting point.
Gross play of the week. Gross play of the week.
I'm thinking back to when God, what was it? Was it I think it was the Lions and maybe it was the Commanders in the NFC Championship game. I want to say the Lions, weren't they like a 10.5 point favorite? I don't know if you remember that game. Chat, does anybody remember that game? By the way, Snowman, did you?
I don't know if it was that big, but they were definitely substantial favorite.
They were substantial favorites, but I remember their team total, I think, was 34.5 in that game. And I was like, wow. I mean, again, the Commanders defense wasn't necessarily that great. And it wasn't an NFC Championship either. That was the Eagles Commanders. But I went with the Lions team total, but that was a 34.5, and the Lions offense was rolling. So now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, I guess this is a field goal short than what it could be. Yeah, I'm gonna pass out. Somebody say Ray Davis. Cam says Ray Davis. How large can you make an NFL team total? So that's why I gave you that example. In that playoff game, I saw the Lions were 34.5, and I think that's what I took, and I think it lost, by the way. If I lose the Bills Survivor this week, yeah, we lost Lions last year. Yeah. So
not to mention, again, the team totals are usually just spread over under minus spread, right? They're just trying to find the actual like midpoint thing there. So I mean, I've seen spreads in the NFL get as big as like 21 in the regular season. Now, usually it'll be towards the end of the year when a team is like super injured and or giving up. But usually it's a spot like this where it's a number one seed taking on a team fighting for the number one pick. So this is a little bit short. Maybe it's because it's early in the season. But again, steaming towards the Saints, I find a little bit interesting today.
Same. Okay. Chat real quick. I don't know when you're in Twitch. First time chatter. What's up, Nikolai Jokic? Kamara rushing yards, maybe receiving. Sure. The real Josh 5 is a new follow. Thank you for joining.
Also, DJ, before we forget, the poll was won by Justin Jefferson. So make sure you lock it in the next 2 minutes.
All right. I'm going in right now. I'm on DraftKings. And I see that his reception yards are 74.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this for a full unit. Have some fun with the fucking fellas and the ladies. Yeah. And I'm also going to alt this. I'm going to go back to receiving props. I'm going to.
FanDuel's got 72.5. If you want the.
Oh, motherfuck. Well, I got my phone up for TikTok Live, and I don't have on my desktop for whatever reason. I can't do FanDuel. I can only do DraftKings, so that sucks. Fuck it. I'm going to alt it though. I'm going to alt it to 90 plus 157. Go get better odds if you got them. Obviously, don't worry about me. And then I'm going Justin Jefferson heavy. I'm going to take him to score a touchdown.
I like it.
Yeah, he is definitely the worst odds on DraftKings. So this kind of sucks, but whatever. It's all I can do. So I got Jet over 74.5, alt 90 plus 157, and I took a Justin Jefferson touchdown plus 145. All right, Justin Jefferson, let's do it. And then, like I said, I mean, if you really want to get down and you're wondering what I like, the only other thing is I like the passing completions for Rodgers. Looks like you can get 20 and a half minus 133, but I'm not going to play that shit though. Fuck the Steelers. Okay. My offshore is 79 and a half. Shoot me in the face. We have to place the Dublin prop. There it is. There it is. You better get the squad ride bet in ASAP. I just did. Thank you very much. 929. All right, Snowman. Let's keep moving. So the next game that I've got here is this is a good one. Washington and the Falcons. The Commanders are coming in, it looks like, as a 2-point dog now. I believe that's probably due to the news of you can get 2.5 minus 110 on Fanatics. Mariota is playing in this game. There's no Jaden Daniels. I don't really think, listen, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a drop off. Clearly Jaden Daniels is a very good quarterback, but what I like for the Commanders, and this is why I like them a lot against the Raiders last week, I like guys that are veteran quarterbacks who are experienced that can play in offenses that simplify the game. That's what Cliff Kingsbury does, and it's been phenomenal. And I've said this not to take away anything from Jaden Daniels, because he is passing these tests flawlessly with his execution. But Mariota is a guy you can plug in, just like kind of how you're able to sort of plug into Shanahan's system and find success. So I'm nervous about fading the Commanders here offensively. However, the Falcons are one of our best bets in the newsletters, and I am okay with getting to the window here because of the fact that they're a team off of a shutout. They got their ass kicked 30-0 against the Panthers. Is it obvious? Probably. Is it square? Sure. Is everybody going to be on it? Also probably. But we're going to play it. I'm thinking about how I see a game script and how, if I like the Falcons, do I like success in the game? And I can't overthink it. I'm not getting cute with Bijan. I'm sorry. No. I'm not getting cute with Penix or London. I want to go all in on Bijan Robinson. I think when I watch this Commanders defense, I think they're better than people give them credit for, but I still don't know that they're very good. And I like the upgrades they've made, getting the cornerback. I think it was Amos, and also Hargrave or Kinlaw on the defensive line. Sorry, the names are escaping me right now. But Dan Quinn overall, revenge game coming into Atlanta is probably a narrative you want to think about. But I think you can run on this.
Double revenge game, Dan Quinn and Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota, you're right. So listen, I like Bijan here. I like him rushing and receiving. He's probably going to score, but I mean, if you look at the touchdown odds, what are they? They're going to be probably ridiculous. They are minus 165. I'm not going that route. So I like his rushing and receiving. Snowman, what do you think about that, chat? What do you think about that? Bijan day for me.
Yeah, I don't mind Bijan at all. I certainly agree. I would like to get something in on this Falcons offense after a goose egg 30-0 blowout loss against a not particularly good Panthers team either. I do think the double revenge angle is interesting from the Washington perspective. I think they're going to be kind of going all balls out in this game. I want to get something on Mariota. I was thinking rush yards maybe, because A, he was pretty mobile in that first game against the Raiders. B, if they are losing, that's a nice game script. I'd actually rather prefer to take a guy like Mariota, they might call some design runs for, which, hey, if that happens, amazing. Mm-hmm. But A, they'd be a lot more willing to call design runs or encourage him to scramble and not necessarily go down, but go for extra yards, because he is the backup. It's not more important to protect the starter. Of course, Daniels is out, but it's not like a super long-term thing. But also, if they are down, that could lead to more scrambles. His number is a little bit high, it looks like, right? Where he's at, what's the number? Like 34.5. That feels kind of high for a guy like Marcus Mariota, who's a little bit old at this point in time. So that kind of felt like a good angle for me, especially, again, if we think the Falcons are going to be scoring the ball and putting up points and the Skins are going to have to match, then that could be Mariota scrambling out of the pocket.
Don't hate it one bit. Don't hate it one bit. Let's get the fucking Justin Jefferson play in. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with it. What's up, Oscar Ram 86 with a new follow. Welcome. What do you like in for a side in this, by the way?
I like the Falcons also. I think it's the double revenge kind of cancels out, and plus coming off the shutout, I think it's the right spot.
Okay. Another double-digit favorite in the NFL. The Detroit Lions are 10.5 at home against the Cleveland Browns. Loved seeing that Detroit Lions win in Baltimore last week. I am a Detroit Lions backer. I believe in this team despite losing their coordinators, and that's what you want to see. They went down and into Baltimore and they ran it down their throat. I think Montgomery and Gibbs had 2 touchdowns each, if I'm not mistaken. It was an absolute masterclass on the ground. So now they're about 10-point favorites at home against the Cleveland Browns defense that we all, as football fans and bettors, should very much respect. Browns are coming off an outright victory at home against the Green Bay Packers, but their offense is still looking like shit. It is straight up Judkins looking better. I understand that, but Flacco, as much as I like the guy, he's not necessarily lighting the world on fire through the air. I like this Detroit Lions defense, and I don't know what I would do here, spread or total wise. But if I had to play it, I'd play Lions. And if I think the Lions are going to win and cover this game, this probably is the chalky thing, but you can't really run against the Cleveland Browns. So again, what I don't like to do is buying high off of recent performances. I don't want to buy high off the Detroit Lions running game. So instead, what I'd like to do is back Jared Goff. I like Jared Goff in this game. I like his passing yards. I like his passing touchdowns. And I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's my touchdown scorer this week. I don't even know what the fucking odds are on it. I guess I should go find out. He is, if anybody cares, he's plus 120 to score a touchdown. I think the Lions probably win an ugly game, and I think it's probably like 27-13. So I got the Lions for 3 touchdowns, and I think the majority of them, 2 out of the 3, come through the air. So I'm going to pick a receiver. Amon-Ra's my guy. I think it's probably, you've got, I believe the Browns got some Ohio State guys. So now they're going into the state of Michigan. If you're looking for a narrative play, I could be reaching here, but Quinshawn, he was Ole Miss, but he went to Ohio State for a year. And then I believe they've got, Ward, their defensive back, also.
Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward. So, it could be something you want to look into, but I'm going to go Amon-Ra, score touchdown. It's plus 120 on DraftKings. And if I had to get cute with a prop, like I said, I'd be backing Jared Goff, his yards, 225.5 on Fanatics. You got anything, Snowman?
I do have a play in this game, and it is very similar to yours. I am on Amon-Ra, but I am on his receiving yards. I agree with pretty much everything you said. The Browns' rush defense is insane. The Packers' offense last week really, really, really struggled because they couldn't do anything against the run. Myles Garrett has been absolutely balling this season. And I know it's kind of weird to say, like, oh, I'd rather back the Browns' run defensive strength versus the Lions' run offensive strength. This is still one of the best rushing attacks in the league. Mm-hmm. But I think this Browns team is being a little bit overhated. This team has been pretty competitive in most of the games that they've played. The offense has certainly been the weak spot. But Flacco, I don't necessarily know that it's been him, right? Like, I've watched some of these games. I've actually bet on Flacco 2 out of the 3 weeks on his yards or attempts. Just because, again, I was kind of buying into the, it's going to be a positive game script. They got rookies at running back. They're going to want to keep the ball in Flacco's hands. He did amazing stats-wise when he was on the Browns a couple years ago. And while that all remains true, this defense is clearly very solid, and the Browns are not like that bad of a team, all things being equal. So you got an interesting spot in this game where both teams are coming off of huge wins. The Browns getting an outright massive dub, and the Lions, they were 4.5-point dogs in that game too. So both teams coming off of outright dog wins against some of the toughest competition in the league. The Packers and the Ravens could be the Super Bowl this season, just straight up. Mm-hmm. So I think that this game is going to be, the 10-point spread. I think that if Detroit does a good job stopping the run, which I think they will, then the Lions are going to be very happy to say, hey, listen, we don't mind going to a super pass-heavy attack. Don't mind the Goff stuff, but just in general, I like Amon-Ra because his numbers seemed very reasonable. I know he had a huge game last week, but if we expect that, he's going to be kind of the middle over the field guy and James Williams going deep, I still expect him to get the vast majority of looks in this game. And what I think is going to be a little bit more competitive than people expect.
Yeah. Just because, I have the Lions covering and winning the game, I still think it's not going to look easy. Amon-Ra St. Brown, too, is a guy where I think you just kind of put your head down and then accept the fact that he's really good and he's probably going to perform well more often than he doesn't. And I like how he still followed up. I talk about it many times. Don't buy high off of guys. 9 catches, 115 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns against the Bears in Baltimore, 7 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. I think Amon-Ra, and shout out to Special K for this look, I think Amon-Ra is just going to be a guy that has success. So I kind of want to lean into that more often than not, instead of shy away from it and being like, oh, I don't want to, get burned if everybody's on it and he just played well. He's a guy I will make an exception for. So I'm all in on Amon-Ra. And we get some sub banks from Late Money and Valoran. Thank you, Late Money. 5 sub banks from Late Money. Appreciate you. New follow. Welcome to the stream. Good vibes. And Valoran gifted a sub bang as well. Thank you guys very much for tuning in to Prop Talk. And again, make sure to follow Snowman at Snowman_sports. You know what, Snowman, I got to get I don't know how to give you a shout out. Mod, can someone give Snowman's Twitch page a shout out? That would be appreciated. Okay, let's keep moving. We do have kickoff in Ireland.
The other thing about Amon-Ra, and to the point about the master classes, while he did have a huge game in terms of yards, in terms of touchdowns, in terms of all that, I mean, he had a huge game against the Bears the week before also, where he had 9 receptions, 3 touchdowns, and 115 yards. So he still hit all of his numbers against Baltimore the next week. And the thing is like, this is a guy who it wasn't really like an outlier in terms of targets. He still got his normal number of targets. As long as he's going to stay within that range, and I think that's kind of like the most predictable thing week to week is, okay, the yards are going to fluctuate, the receptions are going to fluctuate, but realistically speaking, he's probably going to have around, 10 targets in a given game. And as long as that's the case, I think he's going to feast.
Yep. Snidesy, what are you laughing at? Did I do something wrong, by the way? Let me know. No mention of James Franklin. Jameson Williams versus that cover 1 defense intrigues me. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, Cam. I don't hate it at all. I think I also like Jared Goff's longest completion too. I mean, I don't think the Lions are a team that wants to prove people wrong, and they welcome challenges. So I think when you say, oh guys, we got the best defense in the NFL coming into town, they're not going to come out and fucking play scared. I think they're going to want to go up there and try to, make some Steelers bang. Oh, no. What'd the Steelers do? Scoop and score? No way.
Jalen Ramsey.
That's good for Jet. Trailing game script. Okay. Yeah.
We need it. And he's already got 2 catches on the first drive. They want to feed him.
Yep. Oh, he does. 2 catches, 13 yards. We take that. Steelers first score, defense first score. It was always. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. We are at 9:41 in the morning. Snowman, got to get your thoughts on the Chargers Giants here. Chargers are 6.5-point favorites on the road in New Jersey. We got Jackson Dart starting. I don't know, man. I mean, I'd like to think that one of these favorites are going to go down because I love some chaos. Is it going to be the Bills? Is it going to be the Lions? Is it going to be the Chargers? Again, it would be fun if it happened. I hope I'm on the right side if it does. Some of my homies are going there with the Giants. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And the Chargers are a team I'm done fading. I can't fucking fade them. So I'm out. I'm out on fading the Chargers. I won't get there with the Giants. I like the under. 43.5. I like the under. The Chargers coming to the East Coast. I like their defense. I called it Fugazi, but I'm starting to think that it's not. Harbaugh's a great head coach. And I think that Jackson Dart's not going to come out and light up the Chargers on fire in his debut. Our guy Greg had a pretty good point. It's weird that he's getting the start against the Chargers and not next week against the Saints. Get him out there. Let him take his lumps. No big deal if you lose the game. You don't have to look flashy, but you get some experience. Then you have to go beat the New Orleans Saints. You know what I mean? So I like the under here. I think it's going to be like a 23-10 game or something like that. Don't love a whole lot prop-wise. I would have to imagine if you're going to play anything here with the Giants, you probably don't overthink it with Malik Neighbors. The rookie's going to come in. What do you think he's thinking? We heard Malik Neighbors say it. Get one the ball. Oh, defense rattled. Oh, no, call reversed. Wow. And then on the flip side with the Chargers, I don't know, running game. This is probably going to be the biggest test for the offensive line of the Chargers just because if you got Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence. So I could see a little, duress for Herbert. Kind of also leans into my under read here. But I don't know what I'm going to do prop wise. You got anything?
I also think the line is a little bit short here. I know you said you're done fading the Chargers. I don't want to. I mean, this line just seems so obvious, right? You can get a rookie in his first start on a bad team against a team that's looked amazing, against a guy who's potentially leading the league in MVP discussions right now, and you can get him for less than a touchdown. It feels a little bit short, and that leads me to believe that Jackson Dart is going to have a little bit more success than maybe people think. I mean, Brian Dable is an offensive head coach. This is a guy who built Josh Allen. Josh Allen was one of the biggest jokes of like a top 10 pick. I mean, he was horrible to start his career, and now he's turned into a perennial MVP candidate. And of course, a lot of that has been after Dable's left the team as well. But this is a guy who's very good with QBs. Clearly, Russell Wilson was not the option. 2 out of 3 games, they didn't even score a touchdown. So, the fact that he did well against the Cowboys defense, I mean, okay, anybody can do well against the Cowboys defense. They are the worst defense in the league. So I'm not like super surprised they're going to him here now. Yeah, the Saints are definitely an easier matchup, but Russell Wilson's not the future of this team. It's much better to get some reps under the belt for Jackson Dart. I think he's going to play okay. My take here is I want to take Neighbors. I mean, as I said with Carson Wentz, the backup quarterback coming in. Same thing here with Jackson Dart, a young guy, a rookie, a backup coming in his first game. What's he going to do? He's going to feed the shit out of the best receiver on his team, one of the best receivers in the league. I love this spot here in what should also be a trailing game script. You have Cam Scatteraboo at running back. Seems like he's kind of taken over the main starting duties. And while he's a good back, he's a bruising back. And if he's not able to bust big carries, they're going to probably need to gain the majority of it through the air. I think Scatteraboo for a touchdown would be a good look. He's plus odds. Didn't hate that angle, but I'm on Neighbors receiving yards.
Okay, I like it. Let's move on to the next game here. We've got the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. This is a plug your nose game for me, and talking about a favorite that goes down. I'm on the Tennessee Titans. It's my best bet. I'm taking the hook. I'm taking the 7.5. I think everybody's done with the Titans, and as they should be. Brian Callahan is a terrible head coach, but he's given up play calling duties for the first time this season. I'm not out on Cam Ward after a start against the Broncos and the Rams defense, and then playing a very good Colts team. The Texans defense is awesome. It is. I watched that Bucs game through and through. I watched the Houston Jags game from start to finish. They're a really good defense. But, I think that defense is starting to get a little fucking frustrated because CJ Stroud stinks. There is something wrong up here with CJ Stroud. They did nothing against that Jags defense in a spot you had to show up. 0-2, going on the road. Perfect time for a bounce back. I know it was a short week, but that's a desperate spot. You don't want to go 0-3. It's one thing to lose the game. It's another to do nothing on offense. And this is not a vaunted Jags defense. Come on. I mean, Jake Browning moved the ball. I understand they have weapons, but so what? There was one big play, one catch for 50 yards, touchdown for Nico Collins. Outside of that, this team did diddly squat. I think there's a real big problem with the Texans offense, and I think this Texans defense is going to get frustrated. This, to me, is a game where going into it, the Texans and CJ Stroud specifically feel the pressure to win, and it's pressure that he cannot handle. This is a layup. You know what they say in basketball is like the hardest shot is a wide open layup. Kind of feels like that for CJ Stroud. I say this team still continues to shoot themselves in the foot. In a weird way, they're going to take the Titans a little lightly, and I think the Titans, with a new play caller, are going to punch him in the mouth. So how does it happen? I don't know if it's Cam. I really don't. But I like something receiving, and I like Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard has looked awesome. All these free agents that the Titans signed last year, Calvin Ridley, L'Jarius Sneed, I mean, Tony Pollard's been the best one, in my opinion. By far, he runs his ass off. He plays hard. My touchdown partner has Tony Pollard to score a touchdown, so I'm gonna play him. And again, we've been on fire, so I love that. I am gonna go Tony Pollard touchdown, but I also, Snowman, I'm gonna take one of these receivers, not named. It doesn't have to be a receiver, but someone not named Calvin Ridley. I might be a little out on Calvin Ridley. I want to take, Chad, help me out here. I want to take another guy for Cam Ward if I'm playing a prop. And I want it to be Chig. If he's playing, yes. The Amanyara. Hold on.
Like Ayamanor.
Ayamanor. I think that's who I want to take in this game. And I understand I'm probably getting cute. You look up and Calvin Ridley's got 7 catches for 98 yards. I like the look of this guy. I think I'm okay getting cute here. I'm not going to go crazy on it by any means. Pollard to score touchdowns plus 150. Again, I love that. And Iomanar is, he's only 2.5 catches. That's crazy. Receiving yards, 28.5. That's my guy. That's my guy. Elick only for me. Yeah. Oh, Stingley might not play.
Well, I was going to say, I like the angle because they got a lockdown corner who's likely to be on Calvin Ridley, but if he's out, that changes it. You said you like the Titans plus the points. I agree. It seems so free that it almost has to be the Texans, right? Like the Texans have been absolutely horrific. How the hell are they laying 7 to anybody?
You know what? Here's the only thing. I like that counterpoint of when you see a team that hasn't been good and it's like a lot of respect of 7.5. Here's my thought process though. You see what the Saints are getting in the market. 15.5. They're getting massive.
But they're playing the Bills, who are a Super Bowl contending team. They're
100%.
not playing the Texans, who are 0-3.
100%. However, I'm starting to think if you put a list of teams that are the worst in the NFL, I mean, you'd probably put the Saints. Who do you put second? You might put the Titans. People would say the Titans are worse than the Panthers. You know what I mean? So this is my thinking.
Yeah.
The Titans, listen to
Maybe
this.
the Jets or Dolphins. Maybe the Dolphins, honestly.
Oh, maybe the Dolphins. Yeah, maybe the Dolphins. But the Titans are, let's say they're the second worst team in the NFL, and you have an 0-3 team and the Houston Texans at home looking to get their first win. That makes me think a touchdown actually is the lowest you can make it. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely get what you mean. I definitely get what you mean. Texans win, don't cover. Yeah, I like
the I am an or angle. Sorry. I got it.
I was just saying I'm going to be on the points, but I'm going to take a small shot on the money line as well.
Okay. I like the I'm an or angle because again, I think while I think the play is Texans, I think it's way too gross to get to the counter on it. And I'm not really interested in having too much action on that game, but I think the number 2 receiver here is a good angle because, again, if I am correct and you have a positive game script, that's a good thing for Ian Manor. He's done very well, 56 and 38 yards the last 2 weeks. I mean, let's not forget that this is a guy who in college had, 250 yards and 3 touchdowns against Travis Hunter in that big-time game, if you remember that on a Friday night. So if Stingley does play, it's a great sign for him as well if they are trailing. And honestly, if there's some world where they are winning and even when this came out right, it's probably not all going to be on the back of Calvin Ridley and or Tony Pollard. Like their number 2 receiver is going to have to get involved in some capacity. So at 28.5 yards, I definitely don't mind that.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Don't hate that either. Brian Callahan's the worst coach in the league. Not even close. Yeah, you might be right. Mike McDaniel's pretty awful too, but okay. Next game up, Snowman.
The worst coach in the league. Let's not. The worst coach in the league by far is Matt Nagy. It's not even close.
Oh yeah, he's not a current head coach, but I couldn't agree more with you. He is pathetic. Bucks Eagles.
He's not even a coach. He's actually just the drinking partner of their general manager. And he's like, let me give my buddy a job. They're college teammates at Delaware, college roommates.
Oh,
he's never worked in the league outside of for his best friend. Besides when my fucking Bears decided to hire him as head coach, they got pawned like a used car salesman.
So the general manager of the Chiefs is Matt Nagy's best friend?
Correct. I've done 20-minute rants on this topic. You should check it out sometime.
Please send me the fucking episode because I'd love to. I can't stand Matt Nagy. Okay. Bucks, my Bucks. I'm a fan. If you're not familiar, are 3.5 against the Eagles, who they kind of have the Eagles number. I believe they're 4-1 against the Eagles. And the Eagles, we know they've gone to Tampa a day early, trying to get acclimated to the heat. It's going to be very humid. It's going to feel like over 100 degrees on the field. People are saying the Bucks are lucky. I disagree. I say the Bucks are gritty. They're tough. Man, I mean, it's this run is going to end eventually, and I hate to say it, it probably ends here. I don't know that the Eagles look free laying 3.5, even though they're 3-0, because they haven't looked good. Should have lost the Rams. You won by 4 against a terrible Cowboys team, and you didn't look good. You've had less than 200 yards of offense against the Chiefs. So, or maybe not less than, but it was ugly. So it's a really ugly 3-0 team going against another ugly 3-0 team. I kind of think people would probably side with the Super Bowl champs, especially with all the injuries to the Bucks. I think Wirfs is going to be back. I don't know if Godwin is playing. If anybody in the chat knows, let me know. What's up, Adam? Got picks. Good morning. Looking like Godwin's going to play. That'd be awesome.
I think Godwin is in, but Evans is out.
Okay. So, look, I think last week with the Jets and Bucks was an under that I liked. I think I was a week early. I think this is the under. And it might be obvious because I don't know. I mean, the Bucks having one of the best run defenses in the NFL, and Hurts not really looking that good, and Vita Vea with the tush push. I think the Eagles defense is better than people give them credit for, and they were getting cut up by the Rams in the first half, but they looked really good in the second half. I don't know how this is not a 21-17 game at most. I really don't. So my thought process is the under. On that note, I don't have anything I like game script wise or prop wise. I mean, I wanted to lean into Bucky Irving a little bit. He's the kind of guy, like when there's struggles, he's so good at putting the team on his back. He's such a dog. And he did that against the Texans, and Baker really hasn't looked all that great yet. So his coming out party is coming, but is it against the Eagles? I don't know, man, but he steps up against big opponents like this sometimes, and they have smacked the Eagles in the mouth. Last year, after they lost to the Broncos, they went down, they got up to a 3-touchdown lead and never looked back. So it could be a Baker legacy game. I really don't know. I hate to do it without Evans. And then there's nobody I really can think of on the Eagles side, except maybe we see A.J. Brown rise. Could be one of these receivers. I don't know. I don't have a strong lean here. What about you?
I think that this line feels good for the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks at 3-0 have been, I don't want to say fraudulent, but they win by 2 against the Jets after that whole block field goal debacle. I mean, that was a great legacy drive from Baker to get it done. But the Jets are one of the worst teams in the league. They beat the Texans by 1, another one of the worst teams in the league. And then they beat the Falcons only by 3 because the Falcons missed a kick. They cut their kicker, and the Falcons have just lost by 30-0 to the Panthers. So it feels like the Bucks have, while they've certainly been gritty and they've gotten the job done, I think a lot of that is a factor of Baker just being a clutch QB. He's a winner, he's a baller type of guy like that. So I'd be worried looking at it that it's like, oh, it's a little bit fraudulent. Yet the short line makes me think that Tampa is going to compete in this game. I kind of like Ibuka in the spot without Mike Evans. Again, while I do think that Tampa is going to compete, I still think that the Eagles are going to probably be winning for the majority of this game, and we can see some kind of late game heroics from Baker. Additionally, I mean, as you said, the Eagles defense is very solid. And it seems like the strength of the team this year is on the defensive line. Well, the secondary was amazing last season. It hasn't been the case as much this year. It's kind of been the opposite, where the Eagles have had a very difficult schedule compared to Tampa, where they played the Rams and the Chiefs, who, I mean, the Chiefs, while they haven't been as strong this year, I mean, again, the Chiefs have had, they played Eagles and Baltimore and, whomever. So the Eagles being a little more battle tested, the Bucks not being so as much, still short line. I think the game script would favor Tampa, and without Evans, I mean, Ibuka's been a stud. He's making really difficult catches. He's making one-handed catches. He's a great route runner. And I think that's probably the angle that I would take here in this game, either that or Bucky Irving receptions, because I do think that there's probably going to be some sort of a trailing game script that Tampa then fights their way back into and makes a game. I
like that. I'd probably lean into that and go with Bucky Irving rushing and receiving yards. I think that's what I would do. Okay. By the way, it looks like the Steelers are driving 2nd and goal in the Minnesota 1. There's
the touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell pounds it in.
Well, that Rodgers completion bet is looking fucking free. 8 for 8. Gainwell is 9 yards. Metcalf 42. That's good though. We need that. We need that for the trailing game script. Get Jefferson involved. He's at 38 yards, 4 catches in 1 quarter. That's on pace for $140. So we love that. Okay, let's keep moving. I think that's it for the 4 o'clock. Oh no, we can make this one pretty quick. Patriots and Cardinals. We're on the Cardinals. It's one of our best bets. I'm sure a lot. I mean, I'm sorry. Patriots and Panthers. Jesus. I'm not sharp this morning. James Franklin. That's what happens when you lose 5 units on James Franklin. Total's 42.5. The Patriots open 3.5. They're up to 5.5. I know Tet's injured. Xavier Legette is out. I think there's another guy maybe hurt on the Panthers. I don't know if it's Hubbard or somebody else. I mean, it's a gotta have it spot for the Patriots. You can't go 0-3 at home to start the year. You just can't. I didn't buy the hype this team in the offseason. So sometimes I hate going to battle with teams like this who I didn't feel were going to be as good as expected, because if they were to lose, it doesn't totally surprise me. But I got to do it. I got to sucker up and do it here with the Pats. 5.5 against the Panthers after they just look really good at home, coming off a 30-0 shutout against the Falcons. I'll give credit to Beeve on this one if it plays out, but he sent me a message this morning and he said, how is it not TreVeyon Henderson day? I think he's onto something. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson fumbled, I think, twice. Once going into the end zone last week. You know Vrabel's probably got him in the doghouse. I think he has a doghouse. Henderson has been disappointing so far after all the offseason hype. But the only thing is, I got to tell you, I kind of like Drake May. Like, he's a guy I wasn't as down on as I was with like JJ McCarthy, but I've been really impressed with how Drake May is not winning, but he's throwing the ball around pretty well and he doesn't really have anybody to throw it to. So I was on his passing yards one game this year already, and it hit. It's kind of hard for me to abandon him in the passing game in a must-have-it spot because I could see him just fucking, dealing today. But also, if they get a lead, they could probably lean on it and run the ball. So I would probably go Henderson if I had to play anything in this game prop-wise. And then the only thing I can think of with the Panthers is probably like Bryce Young pass attempts. This could be a game I could see Bryce like, I don't know, 19 of 38 or something. I don't think he's very good or efficient, and he's terrible on the road. I think he's 1-14 on the road, I heard. So that's where I'm at with this game. You got anything?
Yeah, the thing with Henderson is like, I'm always a little bit nervous to trust a rookie running back until they've already kind of been proven that they're going to get the trust from their head coach. And speculation that because Stevenson fumbled, I don't know how in love with that theory I am, just because, again, like, a guy like Genty, a guy like a Marion Hampton, sure, they've been established at this point. They were first-round draft picks, and it's not like Henderson was a low draft pick. They took him in the second round. But they haven't really just committed to him yet. They're liking to use Stevenson. They're using even Antonio Gibson in some capacity. So I'd be a little bit worried going with Henderson in this game just because I think there's so many other options on the board in general that I don't really want to go for this like speculative, oh, he's going to get an increase in playing time. I mean, maybe I got PTSD from Belichick, but I mean, how many times have we seen that with the Patriots running back in the past? It's like, oh, this guy's now the next one to break out. He's due to step up. He had a huge game last week, and no. I like the Drake May angle. I think that the line certainly seems like it should be a Patriots play. I mean, you have the Panthers coming off a masterclass shutout. Patriots have been feisty, sneaky, but nothing too crazy. But I agree with you. May has been playing very well, especially for the lack of weapons he has. Carolina's got J.C. Horn, one of the best corners in the league. So maybe this would be a spot to look at, maybe like a running back, receptions. Maybe if you like Henderson, you go from like a receiving angle, as he's certainly a stronger receiving back than Ramondre Stevenson. So maybe he gets those type of plays. His number is not super high. It's like 15 yards for his receiving on DraftKings right now. Receptions is 2.5 minus 117. So maybe that's the angle I would take with it, or maybe something to do with Hunter Henry. But I'd rather try to target like the middle of the field for the Patriots, especially if we think they're going to do well. Because if there is a positive game script, I would be worried that they do go back to Stevenson and say, hey, he's a vet. We want him to prove himself. Let's give him an opportunity here. So I'd rather target the receiving angles here.
I like where your head's at. All right, yeah, I'm gonna probably shy away from Henderson. I don't hate that read, but I'm still with you. I'm thinking it's something passing related because May has not. He's only impressed me. That's all I can say, at least on the in the stat sheet. Okay. Let's go to, I think we're in the 4:00 slate. Again, Snowman, thank you for your time, and everybody for joining. Make sure if you're on YouTube, like the video. We appreciate that. Subscribe to the page, Twitch. Thank you for the sub banks. Jay Free with a subscription, and JR9906. Thanks for the new follow. Okay. A couple more games here, and then we'll wrap up. What time is it? 10:02. Perfect. I got to be somewhere at 10:55. 4:00 first game, Niners and the Jags. I think, can somebody correct me if I'm wrong? I think Purdy's playing, and it's
I believe I saw that as well. Yes,
3.5. You're getting the hook here. I gotta say, so we're on this over. Pointed out early in the week. I was listening to VSiN, and one of the hosts said this number is way too high at 47. I get where he was coming from, because I do respect Salah in this San Francisco defense, even though they're getting banged up and Nick Bosa's out and whatnot. He's a good defensive coordinator, and they've been solid to start the year. There's something I'm seeing with the Jags that I really like, and they're playing hard. And maybe I'm wrong about Liam Cohen being a head coach in his first year. They're 2-1, and I mean they really should be 3-0, but there could be something there with this Jags offense and Liam Cohen's scheme. But I just like how hard the guys are playing. Tootin's running hard. Parker Washington's running hard. Strange is running hard. That's the kind of shit you want to see from a young team like the Jags. So I think the spread's a little short. I think the Niners might be a little bit of a duping. I mean, unless I'm way off because they have injuries and nobody wants to lay any points with them against a team like Jacksonville, who could be a little threatening. But we're going to be on the over. So if we're on the over, we like points. I don't just necessarily like them from the Niners. I also like them from the Jags. But I'll never forget the Niners last year coming off a bye week, -3 on the road in Jacksonville. I said I like the Niners' highest scoring team. They weren't. I think they won like 38-3, and they were my best bet. They beat the fuck out of them. Maybe a Jags revenge game? I mean, I'm partially kidding. I don't know if the Jacksonville has revenge in them. But I think you're going to get a good effort from both sides. I like Purdy coming back. I really do. I think Purdy, I'm not saying he's in my, upper echelon of QBs necessarily, but with the system, the scheme, and enough weapons, even without George Kittle, I don't care. They just plug and play guys. Pearsall, I think, is going to play today. I think he's fine. CMC is fine. I don't hate something Brock Purdy related or CMC. Like a very square. Has Christian McCaffrey had a legacy game on the ground so far this season? I don't think so.
No, he's been under his line, and the line is 72.5 right now. He's been under it in all 3 games.
This could be, in my opinion, the Christian McCaffrey runs for a $120 game and burns people on receptions. On the flip side, last thing I'll say about the Jags, I'm not going to try to time up the Brian Thomas Jr. revenge game or coming out party this year. Something off with him. I don't know that it gets fixed on the road in San Francisco. I would probably just lean into Parker Washington or Strange. I like what I'm seeing from these guys in the passing game. So, Snowman, your thoughts?
The line seems crazy to me. I mean, the Vegas is saying on a neutral site, San Francisco's a 0.5 point favorite.
That's wild. Yep.
What?
Yep.
It makes no sense to me. I feel like if you're taking San Francisco, it's the wrong bet, regardless of if it hits or not. That being said, don't really want to get to the window with Jags on -3.5. I'm a big Niners guy. I'm a big Purdy guy. I'm a big McCaffrey guy. I'm a big Shanahan guy. So I just can't wrap my head around the number. I would guess, this line would be 6.5, 7, not 3.5, especially with Purdy coming back. I know we lose the Mac Jones revenge angle from his short time in Jacksonville, but I like the angle of points. I truly think that's probably the only way Jacksonville competes in this game, because I don't think they're going to, slow down the Niners. I think the Niners are probably going to put up 21, 24 at least. Maybe it's a team total for the Niners. I don't mind the McCaffrey angle, although maybe I'm going to be a little square and say I feel like you got to get the receiving involved in there somewhere. Maybe it's rush plus receiving yards. But he's had 10, 7, and 15 targets in the last 3 games. I understand the 15 targets were with Mac Jones and not with Brock Purdy, but you got George Kittle out now. He's just such a big part of the offense that I would hate to say, like, okay, we think he's going to explode for the ground, and then he takes a screen 45 yards, or he gets like 8, 9 receptions, because that's just what he does. I think I do want something in McCaffrey. I don't mind the receptions, although, again, I think you're probably right with everyone's going to be on that angle. He's been over the 5.5 number all 3 weeks with 9, 6, and 10. So it's just like, maybe that's the game script to say, like, hey, we're going to shut down McCaffrey pass, but the issue is you can't really devote that many resources to stopping the dump offs to the running back or these short little angle routes or option routes, because they're going to get shredded down the field. So it's like a pick your poison type thing. I can definitely see points happening in this game. And if we do like points to be scored, I feel like we got to be on some prop in some capacity. Sounds like maybe McCaffrey rush plus receiving yards.
Yeah. And the only other thing I can really think of here is the Jags run defense getting tested. They went against, they just came off a grueling game against the Texans. It was back and forth. It was a rock fight. And they went against Nick Chubb and Woody Marks. Like, Nick Chubb is a shell of himself. I know they went against Chase Brown, but they kind of had to abandon the run game there because they went down so early in that game. And Chubba Hubbard. Like, I see CMC breaking one here. Maybe his longest rush, something real cute like that. And you're right. I'm looking at these rushing yards. You cannot say he's not going to get involved in the passing game, given what we've seen the first 3 games. I'm not here to say that. But 22 carries for 69 yards, 13 carries for 55 yards, 17 carries for 52 yards. But he also, in 2 or 3 of those games, it was the Cardinals defense and the Seahawks defense. Pretty good defenses, I would think. So I think that's where my head's at. That's what I'm going to lean into, if anything at all in this game. Okay. Next one, Rams and Colts. I think I like the Colts in this game, but I faded the Rams last week. I don't know that I want to do it again. I hate fading Sean McVay and Matt Stafford. Rams are 3.5, totals 50. It kind of feels like a game everybody's going to want to go over, but stays under somehow. Penalties, touchdowns called back. I don't know. And the 4:00 game, nobody really thinks is going to go over. I think it's going to be the Niners Jags. So I don't want to get involved too much with scoring here. All I can think is that was a really, really bad, or not bad, but tough spot for the Rams. Back-to-back road games, going against the Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley on the road in Philadelphia. Now you come home and you got a Colts team, similar to what we saw with the Seahawks, kind of breezed through the Saints, and they came in and they punched the Cardinals in the mouth. The Colts breezed through the Titans. I think they're going to come in and I think they're going to punch the Rams in the mouth. I like Justin Taylor. I keep doing this. Jonathan Taylor. Jeez, I'm off my game today. I like Jonathan Taylor. I like his rushing yards. I like his longest rush. Can't play him to get in the end zone because he's going to be a ridiculous price. But I think I'm going to do something with the Colts on the ground. And for that, it's got to be, I don't know, maybe like Daniel Jones rushing yards. I don't know. But I think I like Jonathan Taylor today. He would be my guy. Pretty chalky, but that's where my head's at. Justin Taylor. Yeah, thanks.
I'm in agreement with you. I like this Colts team. I've been betting on them the last couple of weeks. I am a Daniel Jones guy, an unabashed, proud Daniel Jones guy. I've been that way ever since he was at the Giants, and really even coming out of the draft when everyone shit on the pick, I was saying I don't really think this is a bad pick. Jones has a ton of potential, a ton of upside. He's a huge body quarterback. He's been trained by the Mannings since he was in high school. David Cutcliffe, who was both the Manning's quarterback coach, was his head coach in college. He's like the head trainer of the passing academy now. And I think he's now finally in a spot where the coaches knows how to use his skill set. He's obviously been humbled a little bit by the benching. He had to go be the backup last year after getting cut in Minnesota. Now he gets a shot with Indy, wins the job out of camp. And I think it's time to start thinking that Daniel Jones is just actually good. We're now, 6-7 years from him being drafted? I think there's a lot and way too many expectations on guys needing to be good right out of the draft and before they get written off. Baker was written off, Sam Darnold was written off, Geno was written off just because they weren't good coming out, in their first couple of years. Then they have a couple of years at the bench, they learn, they get better, and now they're actually able to play. I think Daniel Jones is right in that category right now. I think this Colts team is really good. They have a great offensive line. They have a solid defense. I love the idea of them getting plus 3.5 today. I don't mind the Taylor rush yards angle. I don't mind the Daniel Jones rush yards angle. I wouldn't hate backing Nakua also, but his numbers are so high. I think the play for me is probably just Colts plus 3.5.
Yeah, good with that. Also, Michael Pittman went to USC, so he's coming back to Southern California. I don't hate a Michael Pittman look. And Shane Steichen has got this offense rolling and Daniel Jones looking good. And he's kind of the odd man out when you hear about the quarterback whisperers and the offensive gurus of Shanahan, McVay, Kevin O'Connell. So wouldn't surprise me to see Shane Steichen come in there, dial some nice, some creative plays up and maybe a bomb or two as well. So I'd probably, if I was to look to the passing game instead, I would go Michael Pittman. Okay.
Well, the Vikings punted, and the very first play for the Steelers, DK Metcalf, 80-yard touchdown.
You are. Oh, Snowman. I was talking to Beeve about this because he's a Vikings fan. He's like, come on. I don't know if you're familiar with Shady Beeve. He's an entertaining guy. He's a Vikings fan. He's a huge homer. I know you're obviously a bit of a homer too. I hope you didn't have Indiana minus 7.5 last night.
even worse, I did have some at 6.5. So we actually had the cover, and then
that's tough. That's tough. But regardless, he was trying to get me to bet the Vikings. He was trying to get me to bet the Vikings, and I'm like, dude, I like the Vikings. Don't get me wrong, but there was a guy on VSiN talking about Minnesota, and he's a very sharp guy, very smart guy, and he liked the Vikings, and I agree with him. But he was so comfortable talking about the bet. And sometimes when people talk like a bet, there's already a winner and it's easy, free money, it just makes me uncomfortable. And I told him that. I was like, This really smart dude, a sharp guy, is talking about the Vikings, and he's making it sound like it's the easiest bet on the board. And for that reason, I just can't get there. Sure enough, wacky stuff happens. Also, you can't buy Carson Wentz off of a legacy game. With that said, let's go Justin Jefferson. We're in prime position, trailing game script, and a lot of receiving yards. All right, let's.
He already has 5 receptions. We should have laddered the shit out of his receptions.
I know. I'll give credit for Beeve on that one. He's always said it was the receptions. All right. Ravens, Chiefs. Ravens are 2.5 on the road against Kansas City. I like the Ravens. I don't like the Chiefs. I'm over the Chiefs. Even though Lamar is a very frustrating player at time, and he got sacked 7 times. I respect the Chiefs defense. I don't like these weapons for Mahomes. I'm not here to say any longer that I think Pacheco can run the football. He looks broken down, and I don't care for Kareem Hunt. So I like the Ravens. I don't know. I mean, you could tell me, is this line short? Some people have said the Ravens look easy. I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't think fading Mahomes as a dog at home is ever public or square or easy, but maybe I'm wrong. I'd go to Derrick Henry in this game, I think. And I know the Chiefs have a pretty good run game, but I think Derrick Henry, he's got some fumbling issues, and he knows it. And I think he's a guy, he's not done. He's not washed. He's not old. I just think, you got the Chiefs coming off of playing the Eagles and Saquon Barkley, prime time on the road against the Giants. You had to have it. Now you come back and you face a pissed off Ravens team that just got embarrassed, and a frustrated, just Neanderthal of a man from fumbling. You see him slamming his helmet on the sideline. Nobody's really talking about him this week. Maybe it's because the Chiefs defense is really good, but I think you're going to get a really pissed off Derrick Henry today. I like his rushing yards.
Don't hate it at all.
Yeah, this is good. I saw somebody tweet this. The first person that has to tackle Derrick Henry on the Chiefs might die. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Go ahead, Snowman. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't hate it at all. I also like the Ravens minus 2.5. I am worried it looks a little bit too easy. I'm hoping maybe it's just the people are going to see Mahomes getting plus points at home and go with it no matter what. I mean, I believe the Chiefs are pretty popular against the Eagles for virtually that exact same reason. And obviously that did not go very well for Chiefs bettors in that game.
Right.
We have a 48.5 over under, which seems very high. I know the Ravens have played in 2 very high scoring games against the Bills and against the Lions, but I agree with you. I don't think the Chiefs offense is very good this season. Their receivers are ass. I mean, Xavier Worthy is apparently playing today, coming off an injury. Don't know how much I trust that. Travis Kelce was washed last season, where they really stopped throwing to him in the regular season and just started preparing him for the playoffs. I don't even know if they can do that this year. I don't think they're locked to make the playoffs by any stretch of the imagination right now. They have the worst offensive coordinator in the history of organized coaching. Matt Nagy, he's functionally a water boy. He's a drinking partner of Brad. I'm not going to get into it right now, but when you're coaching and you're Andy Reid and you have to basically functionally do everything for the offense, it's going to wear on you over time. And they've been doing very, very well the last few years. I think the Ravens kind of roll in this game, if I'm being honest. So I don't hate the Henry rush angle. His touchdown is not really that juicy, all things considered, for Derrick Henry. It's like minus 150 right now. We normally see him at like minus 200. Don't mind using him in some sort of TD lay type thing. Maybe take a fantasy score angle if you're on one of those books that offers that. But I agree. I like the Ravens in here. And if I like the trailing game script for the Chiefs, I have no clue who to fucking target. Maybe it's Mahomes with his legs. I might just be with you and red ride with Henry.
Okay. Bears, Raiders. I like the over in this game. I was on your Bears last week. Took Caleb Williams, most passing yards Sunday. He missed it by 2. That was really unfortunate. Did take his yards straight. That was easy at 135 in the first quarter. I like him again. I like Caleb Williams again, but I think I'm going to go with both these offenses putting up points. I know Jalen Johnson and the Bears secondary overall are banged up and missing some guys. I don't hate Geno as a passer, and he can put up numbers. Ashton Genty is due for a coming out party. Could it be against the Bears? Maybe. Fun fact, my bachelor party, I went to the Raiders-Bears game. It was John Gruden's last game he coached in the NFL, had a Bears plus 5.5 ticket. They won outright 16-9. No big deal. It was ugly. It was low scoring. There's going to be a lot of Bears fans there. 48, I don't know that it's a high total necessarily, but
It's a tad higher than I expected. The Bears looked really good early against the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys defense is not good. I think they probably should have done some more damage. I don't think the Raiders defense is very good either. But what I liked is that Ben Johnson opened up the playbook. He had 2 or 3 tremendous calls, and the wide receivers were wide open. And Caleb Williams did his job. But outside of that, he still is a little bit of a frustrating player for me. Doesn't trust his reads, panics in the pocket, and you're going to have a pass rush here with Max Crosby. That's probably going to have him a little flustered. So I don't want to back the Bears. If anything, I might lean Raiders, but I also don't want to bet on the shit Raiders either. I just like points. I like passing, and I might go with Geno instead of Caleb on this one.
When the line came out, I was looking at the lines early in the week. This was the line I was most shocked and confused by. Because Raiders -2 opened. I thought that said it all.
Yeah.
I think it has to be the Raiders today. I think my Bears are going to go in and just however it happens, they're not winning this game. I think if that's the case, it has to be Genty rush yards. As you said, he's due for a breakout game. He's been getting tons of looks. He's been getting tons of opportunity. He just keeps getting hit behind the line. I believe I saw some stat that like he has 101% of his total yards in the season after contact. So he's literally been hit behind the line more often than he hasn't. Like he's literally, if you just count the time that he gets hit as being like, okay, the play is over, assuming the first guy that hit him wraps him up every single play, he would have negative rush yards on the season. So he's doing a great job fighting through tackles. And I think if this is going to be a game script opportunity, it's going to be for Genty in terms of the Bears losing. The Bears, as you said, their secondary is super depleted. So there could be good opportunities for guys like Jacoby Myers, maybe Brock Bowers to do well early in the game. I feel like the over, I could see that happening too. But I think Genty explodes today. The Bears defense is really bad, and they're going to have some sort of resources out there to defend the middle over for Brock Bowers. And if they're taking linebacker pressure away from the run game, he can really just take like 1 or 2 big runs for him to get like, what is he, like 64, 65 yards.
Yep.
I think he scores. I think he is going to have a huge game today. I'm all in on Genty.
Okay. Might tell you a little bit on that. Maybe rushing receiving for Genty. All right, Snowman, last game, Dallas at home against the Green Bay Packers. The Packers look like the most obvious play of the season, in my opinion. Everybody's out on Dallas. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to be missing this game. Bounce back for Green Bay after an atrocious performance and a loss against the Browns. Now you're not playing the Browns, you're playing Dallas, which might be one of the worst, if not the worst in the NFL. Should light up the scoreboard if you're Green Bay. Should put up 30 easy, but the contrarian in me just has a little bit of apprehension and a little pause of slamming anything Green Bay related. Dak is a stat patter. He's probably going to find a way to put up passing yards in this game, but you got Micah Parsons' narrative coming back. Maybe he's on the run a little bit. I don't know. I really don't know what I like in this game. I got absolutely nothing. How about you?
Tough to call. As you said, I do believe the whole world is going to be on the Packers, and probably for good reason, coming off of a bad loss. Cowboys are losing everybody. Their defense is bad to begin with. I'm going to be under in this game, right? If the Packers are going to do well, that means that they're probably going to end up running the ball very heavily, especially in the second half, right? We know this is a very heavy run team to begin with. If we do think the loss of CeeDee Lamb is going to hurt the offense for the Cowboys, I mean, I could very easily see them struggling to put up points here. I could see this being something like a 27-13 type game if it goes the way we think. And if the Cowboys are more competitive in terms of like, all the -7s are going to get screwed, I don't think it's more than like a 24-20 type game for the Packers. So I think I would lean the under here. Primetime unders always feast. Like all these books are giving Sunday Night Football parlays out. Who are you going to put parlays on in this game? You're going to be getting behind fucking Romeo Doubs and Matthew Golden and Kevontae Turpin and Jalen Tolbert. Like,
that's a good point. So Matthew Golden's going to be popular because he's coming back to Texas.
Sure. But it's just like, okay, so unless you're going to go on like Josh Jacobs, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, Tucker Kraft, like it just feels like this is going to be a lower scoring game. Maybe it would be like Josh Jacobs rush attempts, something in that angle, maybe rush yards.
Yeah.
His rush attempts is sitting at like 18.5 though. So it's already a really high number as is. I think maybe the move is just to take the under and kind of fade the props in this game.
Okay. Awesome. All right. That's the slate. Snowman, thank you very much for making the time. An hour and a half cranking 9 a.m. Eastern.
I did write down some notes. I would love to cook up this parlay. I got a bomb boost bet. So the names that I got written down: Bijan Robinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tony Pollard, Alec Ayamanor, Bucky Irving, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry. love to hear your favorite guys from that list.
All right. What do you want to bet? You want to bet yards? Do you want to bet touchdowns?
Anything. I want winners. I have a giant bonus bet that I want to put it on. So whatever's going to hit is fine. I don't even care if this lays like a plus 500. That's fine with me.
Okay. You like Amon-Ra. He's my touchdown scorer. I'm red hot with touchdown scorers. Amon-Ra has to go in.
Okay.
I don't care if you like him for like 90 plus. I don't care if you like him over receptions. I like him to score something Amon-Ra related. As much as I really think Bijan goes nuts today, I don't know how. So I don't know if you want to do rushing, receiving in a parlay. I wouldn't do touchdowns because it's just that the value's not there. I think, the cheekiest guy on here would be Elik Ayamanar.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I like that play too.
So, he's at 28.5 receiving. You could probably get him for 40 plus, 50 plus at a decent price to juice up the parlay. We don't want value. We want winners. You're right, Boston Sports Dork.
I think we also got to put Derrick Henry in there.
Yeah. We kind of aligned on that one too.
Yeah.
So what would we do with Henry? Attempts?
Just rush yards.
Rush yards? Okay. Yeah. Yep. I like that. Let's not do Jonathan Taylor because it could be Daniel Jones on the ground. I'm going to say, I don't like him for the parlay. What do you have right now?
I got Amon-Ra, Ayamanar, Derrick Henry. I think some of the other options that I'd like that we talked about could be McCaffrey.
Yeah.
We could go with Caleb Williams. Go with Tony Pollard.
I would do Tony Pollard.
Although, actually, let's stay away from Pollard because we're already on one Titan.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't want to double up. All right. I think you'd have to go back to Caleb Williams passing yards if you do anything, especially if we think it's the Raiders in a weird game. I don't think they're going to go in there and run the ball with DeAndre Swift. I think Ben Johnson is going to continue to maybe open up the playbook a little bit more. You can take advantage of that Raiders secondary. I like the over. I like something Caleb Williams related yards. He should have 300 plus today. And I know it's kind of cute, man, but I think this is the day CMC gets him on the ground.
All right. We got 5 legs. I want to limit it to 4. I'm down for Henry. I'm down for Ayamanar. I'm down for Caleb. Who do you like better between McCaffrey and Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Amon-Ra.
For touchdown or yards?
God.
Or receptions?
I like him everything.
Okay.
I like him everything. I'm playing him to score though.
Okay. All right. I think the lay that I'm going to rock with for the bonus lay is I'm just going to do the baselines for everything.
Okay.
Henry rush yards, Caleb passing yards, Ayamanar receiving yards, Amon-Ra touchdown.
I love it.
Chat wants CMC. I'll take that separately, but for the collab stream lay, that's what we're going to rock with. If anybody wants to tail, I will post this on Twitter as well.
I love it. All right, Snowman. Make sure to follow Snowman at Snowman_sports. We appreciate your time. Snowman, are you going live, by the way, or are you done for the day?
I'll go live probably in about half hour to an hour or so.
Okay. All right. I got to run out, but later I'll tune in, and everybody make sure to go to Snowman's Twitch channel and hang out there a little bit later. Straight Locks is live. All right, I'm going to rate Straight Locks. Snowman, thank you very much, man. Best of luck. Good luck to your Bears, and
thank you
for your bets.
Thank you for having me on. Good luck to you. Good luck to chat as well. Let's hit some winners today, boys.
All right, Snowman, take it easy. Have a great day. All right, good shit, guys. Thank you again to Snowman. He's the man. Let's raid at okay, let's do this right this time, guys. Straight Locks _ right? Is that the one? That looks like the one. Everybody join the raid. Snowman, great dude. Straight Locks is another good one. He does a great job. He's talking ball. Let's go over. Join the raid. Show Straight Locks some love. Thank you guys for hanging out. Good luck on your wagers today. I got to get the hell out of here, and we'll see you tomorrow for the recap. All right? Peace.